In the beginning, when the world was yet untouched by time and the stars had only just begun to whisper their eternal tales across the vastness of the sky, God created the heavens and the earth. In the heart of a paradise that would come to be known as Eden, He shaped a garden more splendid than any creation before it. Rivers of crystal flowed gently between banks of lush green, where flowers bloomed in every hue imaginable and fruit trees bent under the weight of their abundance. It was in this perfect realm that God placed the first human, Adam. Adam was formed from the dust of the earth and brought to life by the breath of God Himself. He opened his eyes to the light of paradise and breathed in its fragrance, innocent and unburdened. But though the world around him overflowed with beauty and wonder, he felt a quiet solitude settle in his heart, for there was none like him to share in the gift of existence. So God, in His infinite wisdom and compassion, caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep. And from Adam's side, He fashioned a companion, a being of grace and spirit, equal and whole. When Adam awoke and beheld her, his heart leapt with joy. "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh," he said. Her name was Eve, the mother of all to come. Together, Adam and Eve dwelled in Eden, walking with God in the cool of the day, learning the names of the creatures, nurturing the land, and knowing no sorrow. They were free to eat from every tree in the garden save for one. In the center of Eden stood the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God warned them, "Of every tree of the garden you may freely eat, but of the tree in the midst of the garden you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die." They heard and obeyed, their hearts pure and their will aligned with the divine. But not all in creation rejoiced at their innocence. Among the angels, there was one who had once burned brightest of all, a being of beauty, knowledge, and pride. His name was Iblis. He had walked among the highest ranks of heaven, but when God created Adam and asked the angels to bow before him, Iblis refused. "I am better than him," he said. "You created me from fire and him from clay." Because of his arrogance and defiance, Iblis was cast down from the heavenly assembly. But he did not vanish. His heart, now twisted with hatred and envy, vowed vengeance. "I will lie in wait for them," Iblis hissed, "on your straight path. I will come at them from before and behind, from their right and from their left, and you will find most of them ungrateful." And so Iblis entered Eden, cloaked in cunning. He found Eve walking among the trees, her eyes filled with curiosity and wonder. In the form of a serpent, he coiled himself around a branch of the forbidden tree and whispered in a voice that seemed almost gentle, "Why do you not eat from this tree?" Eve looked up. "God has told us not to," she replied. "He said that we shall not eat from it, lest we die." "You will not surely die," Iblis said smoothly. "God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like Him, knowing good and evil." Eve hesitated. The fruit gleamed with a strange allure, and the thought of wisdom, of being like God, stirred something within her. She reached for the fruit and took a bite. The taste was unlike anything she had ever known, sweet, yet heavy with an unfamiliar weight. She brought the fruit to Adam, and he too ate. In an instant, their world changed. Their eyes were opened, and they saw themselves not as innocent beings of the garden, but as naked souls burdened with shame. They hurried to cover themselves with fig leaves, hearts pounding with fear and confusion. The peace of Eden was shattered. God called to them, "Adam, where are you?" Adam stepped forward, trembling. "I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." "Who told you that you were naked?" God asked. "Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" Adam answered, "The woman you gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I ate." God turned to Eve. "What is this you have done?" Eve said, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." And so God pronounced His judgment. To the serpent He said, "Because you have done this, cursed are you above all livestock and wild animals. You will crawl on your belly and eat dust all the days of your life. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He shall crush your head, and you shall bruise his heel." To Eve He said, "I will greatly multiply your pain in childbirth. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you." To Adam He said, "Because you listened to the voice of your wife and ate from the tree, cursed is the ground for your sake. In toil you shall eat of it all the days of your life. By the sweat of your face you shall eat bread, till you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken. For dust you are, and to dust you shall return." And then God, in an act of mercy, made garments of skin for Adam and Eve to cover them. Though they had disobeyed, He still loved them. But paradise could no longer be their home. God cast them out of Eden eastward to labor and build a life among thorns and sweat. He placed cherubim with a flaming sword to guard the way to the tree of life, lest they reach out and eat from it and live forever in their fallen state. Outside Eden, the world was wild and unknown, but Adam and Eve faced it together. They bore the weight of their actions, but also the hope of redemption, for God had not abandoned them. In time, they had children and filled the earth, and through their descendants, the story of mankind began, a story of struggle, of learning, of seeking the divine even amid suffering. And Iblis, though defeated in the garden, still wandered the earth, whispering lies and tempting hearts, seeking to drag others into his despair. But in every generation, there would rise those who remembered Eden, who yearned for its peace, and who walked the path of righteousness despite the thorns. The fall had come, but so too had the promise that one day, through the seed of the woman, a Redeemer would come to crush the serpent's head and restore what was lost in Eden. Until then, the story of Adam and Eve, of sin and grace, of fall and hope, would be remembered and told through the ages.